How's it going, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of Crypto Clout, and today we are actually going to be talking about Cardano. And really, Cardano ADA is one of the most interesting cryptocurrencies that I've been paying attention to. Cardano is one of those cryptocurrencies that gets my attention because they're really leveraging the international capabilities made possible by cryptocurrency in a way that's unprecedented in the space. So it's one of those technologies that's raising the bar and moving itself into prominence, and as well as its movement into doing all these things at the same time, it's also managed to build a great community centered around the vision of this technology. So I think as far as we look at the future of cryptocurrencies, Cardano is certainly one of those technologies to keep an eye on for a multitude of reasons. So in this video, we're going to be discussing Cardano and the various pros and cons regarding this cryptocurrency and the potential that's in store for smart contracts as we continue to see this space develop and mature alongside the various different applications that are open and available in respect to the society and how things have been developing and getting used to cryptocurrencies as things have been moving along. Currently, at the time of making this content, of course, the market cap stands at 343 billion, and it is interesting to take into consideration the context of how far cryptocurrency has come in the overall idea of it, and how the philosophy has matured in the public consciousness, and how things have there's certainly a long way to go, but we are at an advantageous point being so early in the game. Do you think that Cardano has the stuff to overtake Bitcoin, to overtake Ethereum, and essentially be the new king of cryptocurrencies? And I think that from my perspective, and of course my understanding of Cardano is fundamentally data driven, and I think that it's important to have a perspective that's educated from all different angles, and of course I think that when it comes to looking at all the things that are there really isn't very much of a difference between Cardano and Ethereum. Realistically, when you consider how much time Cardano has in front of it to develop and really maneuver in ways that are really already all set for Ethereum. But there's going to be a lot of those key similarities that are going to play to Cardano's favor when you take into consideration the elements of smart contracts and the key maneuverings that are going to be playing a big advantage to as we continue to move forward step by step. I think that Cardano definitely does have a lot of leverage in that context, and you really have to take into consideration. Remember, just a few years ago, anybody who's been involved with cryptocurrency for any amount of years, we've seen these things develop, and you've seen the potential that's in store for these technologies, and we've watched them come to where they are today. And it's amazing how much this space has developed in such a short amount of time, and we still are remarkably early in the context of cryptocurrency. So there could be a lot of different variables that come together that shape the way that we see things unfold. And when I just look at the news regarding Cardano, there really is a great community that's built around this technology, but of course in such a short amount of time, we've seen such a developing role that Cardano's been playing. And I think that as far as its role in developing nations as well, is going to be playing a huge role overall. Because of course the various applications of cryptocurrency are going to have to take their logical steps, but of course when I look at the Cardano roadmap, it is an interesting to an interesting degree, seeing how this technology is moving forward and progressing. Cardano is definitely positioning itself in a key strategic place moving forward in the context of the greater future of cryptocurrencies, especially when you take into consideration Cardano's in that number 7 position as it currently stands. But you also have to really think about the greater context of the history of cryptocurrencies up till this point. Of course, Bitcoin was the introduction of cryptocurrencies with the sort of the concept of digital gold and the ability for the public consciousness to sort of get acquainted with the idea of using cryptocurrencies and leveraging these sort of technologies. And then, of course, we came to the next generation, which was, of course, the Ethereum generation, which was, of course, marked by the smart contracts and so forth. And now we come to really the next logical step in cryptocurrency is really going to be a technology that's very similar to Cardano, if not Cardano itself. Moving forward, I think that we're definitely seeing some really interesting signs when it comes to the technology. So overall, I would say that Cardano is definitely one of the most interesting cryptocurrencies. I would say that Bitcoin has to look out because, I mean, of course, we've seen Bitcoin rise and fall, of course, and it's really had its impact on the public consciousness. And of course, we're seeing this really a vacuum that's opening up for these altcoins. And of course, that's really where my interests fundamentally are. As we've seen things continue to develop, I think that ultimately these next few years will be marked by success. And of course, there's a lot of potential opening up for Cardano to really move upwards. Of course, they're in the number 7 position right now, but I think that the potential is in store for it to really potentially even overtake the higher level technologies as things continue to move forward. When you take into consideration Cardano and really what they're building forward towards, because certainly one of the things that I always take into consideration when I look at this list of cryptocurrencies here is how are these technologies actually going to be acting in the real world. And when it comes to Cardano, it's fundamentally one of those technologies that I could see reshaping really on a foundational level, levels of society and ways of interaction that have really are overdue for optimization, especially in the current era of the Internet of Things, where we're starting to see a complete and total overhaul of the way of doing things and really a new introduction, which is honestly a key opening up strategic maneuvers for Cardano, essentially moving forward. And I think that this is going to be leading to a lot of exciting things in the long term. I mean, we're talking 2019, 2020. Cardano is definitely going to be seeing some really key strategic perspectives in that overall, especially when I pay attention to things like the team that's working on Cardano. I think that it's a really hard-working team, and of course, moving forward, I think that that's going to be playing a big role in the context of business connections and these different variables as they've been coming to. It's really overall building up to be sort of a perfect storm in the overall context of crypto. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how things are going to be moving forward for Cardano. So yeah, all that being said, remember this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. The whole purpose of this content is basically to share for discussion purposes. So remember, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm not your dad. But ultimately, basically, this is just our opinion regarding Cardano. But, you know, in the spirit of sharing different opinions, I'm actually going to be including a link to this video by DustyBC down in the description. So if you guys are interested in following up and watching this 10-minute content here, it's really interesting to hear different perspectives. But of course, you know, you can always make sure to follow Cardano on their official Twitter. And you know, if you guys are interested, we'll be including a link to our Twitter as well, because I think it's really awesome to be building these communities across different platforms. And I think ultimately it's amazing to see how early we are in the game when it comes to cryptocurrencies and the potential that's in store for these technologies, as we see them develop step by step alongside the society as we go through this paradigm shift. So all that being said, I hope that you guys subscribe to the channel and of course share this content, and remember to comment down below letting us know what you think about Cardano. And all that being said, have a nice day, everybody.